y'all. It's Holly. So, I'm starting Daniel Craig now. I've rewatched Casino Royale for probably well over the 10th time. It's there, somewhere around there. Like I said, with Die Another Day, this one, and Die Another Day, which somehow the DVD disappeared somewhere. Were the only ones I had for the longest time until this year, actually. Only Bond movies I actually had. Real quick before I get into it, notice I was a stupid child. Or at least my parents were. I don't know. They didn't know. Whatever. This is the full screen edition. Ooh, ooh. Before we get too much further, please, the algorithm on this YouTube sphere is pretty bad right now. It's messing up a lot of people, so please, it'll help me a lot if you subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, please leave a like, leave a comment, share it. All those help. Any of that is I would very much appreciate. Anyway, so I went into Craig with the mindset that Casino Royale, at least from my memory, was the best he had to offer. And if that's the case, that's going to be rough for me because, okay, I'm not saying this is a bad movie. Not at all. I just don't think it holds up as well as I thought it did. It's not, it has the same kind of issues with the book where it's like very, like slow in certain points. And the book is very much heavy on the Baccarat discussions and all that, but somehow it's still a bit more catching you in. Overall, the movie is a good adaptation. Like it pretty much hits all the same notes. Besides them trying to work, like it's not quite Smirsh. The Chiefs working for this mysterious organization, this Mr. White, and blah blah blah. Like, they're setting up more stuff for it to be Spectre, whatever their plan was. Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Spectre between this one and Quantum. I don't know what they were supposed to be doing with that. Um, and for the like I said, for the most part, it's pretty accurate. Um, there are some character issues here and there, but I'll get to that like way down the line. More so with like Felix, um, and like how Bond and Vesper are. But that's to my best recollection. It has been probably way over a year that I've read Casino, so it's been a bit, and my mind is kind of Bond rotted at the moment. But the issue with the movie is my biggest issue with the movie is it is front loaded with action and nothing after that. Like once they get to the casino, which is like an hour they're about in, maybe like you're reaching maybe the 115, perhaps even 130 mark, if that. Um, It drags. Like not even before that. Like once Bond gets on the train with Vesper, like it's just exposition and poker from there on. Like there's little bits of action with Bond versus the Ugandans, Nigerians, the African warlords that were after the chief. Very brief, and then Bond resuscitating his heart. And if you count the chair scene and I guess the final scene too, like there's very little bit in comparison to like the first chunk, which is action scene, action scene, action scene, action scene. I don't know how they could have done it better, but I do feel like yes, I get they're trying to do a more like correct version, but if they were, those action scenes in the beginning wouldn't be there. So in the book, it's much more focused on him learning back, like his detailing his whole regimen, how he is, blah 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 blah, and then a lot of it on the background. And then there is some action scenes, some spy work. If they made it more like that, that could have been more interesting. Except you get everyone's interest, and then maybe it's because I've seen it so often that I kind of got like zoning out because I'm like, okay, I know this beat for beat, blah 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 blah. Um, But in the past, it was grabbing my attention. I think the difference is with this time, it really could just be that I'm watching this way after all the others. This is like the 20th, I think, 20th or 19th Bond movie. And by that point, like I'm kind of like I know what I want, how I want a Bond movie to be, and this one isn't. It's very much the same vein as like when people say, "Oh, read," like when people think, "Oh, just read Casino Royale, you get a perfect version of Bond." Not really. Bond like evolves and changes over time, and the version most people think of Bond isn't going to be this Bond. Even then, going on to the character of Bond, um, I'll revisit this as it goes on with each movie, but this version of Bond, like Craig's Bond, isn't it? Bond's really like this version of Bond is way too cold. Um, like cold. Like in the books, he's cold, but a key part of him is that he doesn't kill in cold blood. Like he needs a reason to do it. He doesn't like doing certain things. He kind of detests killing women. Like that doesn't really happen here, but like he has like he could be jovial. He can joke around. He likes Felix. He has like fun with things, but this one's much more like hard edged. Like he he doesn't feel like Bond, if that makes sense. He feels like yes, the first version of Bond, but not the Bond that is like what you think of Bond, if that makes sense. Like best way to describe it is Dalton and Brosnan had their cold moments. They were like definitely close. Um, they fit the bill the best. Uh, okay, wait. Get Dalton. Craig is on one end, the really cold end. Moore is on the more jokey end. Neither one are complete bonds, but in the middle, you find the truth. He's on the far end of just being too cold, too brutal, too detached. Like it's not as intriguing. It's definitely of the time. It's definitely of the time, and we will see more of that. I think like the 2000s era of how people like spy movies and action movies are portrayed really do infect this series of Craig's versions. Um, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. But now I don't want to be completely negative. Like I said, I do like this movie. Like it is well made. Um, Craig is a good actor. Like I don't like just because I read all the Bonds and seen all the Bond movies, he's just not my version of Bond. I don't think he's that. It's not his fault. It's more so the writing. Vesper's a good Vesper, like great. Eva Green, amazing. Mads Mikkelsen, amazing. Love him. He was great as Lashif. He's great at everything. Nothing wrong with Jeffrey Wright. Like I do like him and other stuff. Like he was great as Commissioner Gordon in the Batman. But his version of Felix, once again, it's not his fault. Like none of the Felixes have been really good in any version. Like the closest he got maybe was like the first one, and like Dr. No, I think is probably the closest, perhaps. Like Dr. No, or even like the bare minimum that was in License. Barely. I think it's the same actor though too. So, but like none of the Bonds movies ever got Felix right. This Felix is much too, once again, cold. Felix is much very jokey. Um, like the books always light up, and Bond lights up when Felix is around. Like they have a great time. Um, M is different in this. This is something I brought up with Brosnan. Is this version of M? It's not the same M. Played by the same person, played by Judi Dench, but different M. This M's much, once again, she plays more into the coldness, but she becomes more of a motherly figure rather than a, not quite antagonist, but disapproving, I guess. Um, I don't know. I'm conflicted on this. Like, I do know my feelings for the most part on the other Craig movies, and the fact that the other ones I do know for the most part I don't like, and this one will still probably rank two for me. Um, like I can objectively say, like this is a well-made movie. It's well done and well shot and well acted and stuff. It's just I think it falls in the same trap as the book, where it's kind of a struggle to get through, especially when you compare it to the other books and other movies. Um, it can be incredibly interesting, and when it did come out, quite honestly, I did become slightly obsessed with poker. Like we got a whole poker set and stuff. I kept thinking about it was on repeat for me. But it, it's not like the movie's quality doesn't hold up. It's just my version and knowledge of Bond in comparison, like changes how this is for me. Um, one thing I also do really like is that the theme music for Bond doesn't appear to the end, and the constant music that replays is the actual like title song, which is cool. The title song is classic. The actual visuals amazing. Like that part's great. There's a lot of good stuff in this, but it's the things that aren't correct that really drag it down, along with the pacing. This I feel like that's a constant. That is a constant thing I talk about with these movies is pacing, whether it is just a continuous shot of scenery along a scene of some kind of sport or stunt, or just like over exposition, which this falls under. This one has the issue of too much exposition and just front loading with action. There's not much to like retain your interest beyond that unless you're really invested. Like this is your first, second time watching it, sure. I just don't think this holds up for like continuous repeat watches. If you've seen the other movies, this is the big caveat I'm throwing in with this movie, is if you've seen or read the other books to a certain extent, this one's like, if you'd seen this one first and then you went back and watched and read all the others or most of the others and then went back to this one, you're not going to like this one as much. That's my big thing with this. That's my big takeaway with that one. Um, but beyond that, like it's still good. Objectively, it's good, but subjectively, for me, it's not. I'll be upfront. Once I finally rank all the movies, the Craig movies aren't cracking past probably where they land in release order. Um, they may be above some of the Moore movies and some of the Bad Connery movies, but they're not getting close to like maybe 15 at all. That's me being truthful on that one. Um, sorry to say, but oh well. Anyway, next, I don't know when I'll have time to. I'm going to be busy the next couple of days, but I'll try. Hopefully by like Wednesday night, maybe. Wednesday night, maybe I'll have Quantum out. We'll see. But otherwise, that's all I got.